that matters. This is KARK4 Today.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm Isabella Moeller in for Aaron Nolan. And I'm Jancy Sheets. Thanks for joining us this morning. We want to begin with Starbucks. The coffee chain closing early today for anti-bias training, and it stems from an incident at a store in Philadelphia. This morning, Kristen Holmes is live in Philly with more on this. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we are in front of that Philadelphia Starbucks where this all began with the arrest of 2 black men back in April. Earlier and heard the employees saying that they were actually excited about the training later today. They thought that it was going to be interesting. And keep in mind, this is just one of thousands of stores across the country that will go through this later today.
It's conversation, not coffee, brewing at Starbucks across the country Tuesday afternoon as 8,000 stores shutter their doors for racial sensitivity training.
We are here to make Starbucks a place where everyone feels welcome.
The training sparked by this event, the arrest of 2 black men waiting on a friend in a Philadelphia Starbucks. A store manager denying one man from using the restroom and calling police on the pair for trespassing when they hadn't made a purchase. Captured by customers and posted to social media, the viral video sparked nationwide outrage. Following the incident, the coffee conglomerate has apologized and reached a financial settlement with the 2 men. It also created a new policy allowing anyone, paying customer or not, to use the restrooms. Noon, more than 100 follow a curriculum in part by the NAACP. Watch bias, and with Starbucks chairman Howard Schultz and musician and activist Common serving as virtual guides,
helping people see each other fully, respectfully.
The training is just a few hours, and Starbucks says it's just the beginning.
Now, many critics are dismissing this as a PR stunt, saying that this event brought so much negative publicity to Starbucks. This was a way for them to publicly sway opinion. But others argue that whether or not it is doesn't really matter, and that these are conversations we should be having in our communities and our workplaces. Reporting live in Philadelphia, I'm Kristen Holmes. Back to you.
All right, Kristen, thanks. Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson has been on the job for just over a year, and he released this statement after the incident in Philadelphia.
We work to be a different kind of company, a company that believes in using our scale for good, a company that believes that the pursuit of profit is not in conflict with doing social good.
The training will involve all stores, more than 175,000 employees. The company hopes it starts a discussion on biases and stereotypes. Here in Central Arkansas, closing times vary. To find out what time the Starbucks near you will close, head to our Facebook page. We have posted a link there. Happening today, the Arkansas campaign will protest for the 3rd time in just a few weeks. Today's protests focus on the war economy, militarism, and gun violence. The group is calling for demilitarization of our communities, a public veterans administration system, and an end to increased military spending. That begins at 2 o'clock at the state capitol. A shortage of truck drivers could lead to higher shipping costs. The U.S. needs 50,000 drivers to avoid a shipping squeeze. The rise of online shopping has increased shipping demand and the need for truck drivers. To keep up with industry growth, almost 900,000 truck drivers will be needed over the next decade. Governor Asa Hutchinson's son arrested for the 2nd time in 2 years. William Hutchinson III is facing several charges, including driving under the influence and speeding. He was arrested yesterday morning, later released on bond. Hutchinson was arrested for drugs in Alabama in 2016. He's scheduled to appear in court for his new charge in July. Additional patrols in the Caddo River lead to nearly 30 arrests over the weekend. Most of the complaints were about litter and illegal dumping. Nearly half a dozen agencies participated. Most of the arrests were alcohol related. The Arkadelphia police chief worked with the county sheriff and prosecutor to plan the patrols.
This is probably early for us this year. I've heard several people comment that it's early in the year for the behavior to be this bad.
The youngest person arrested, a 15-year-old boy. Additional patrols could pop up throughout the summer.
People calling for a cleanup of a cemetery in Hensley. Family members who have loved ones buried at the Rest of Peace Cemetery say they can't find their family member's headstone. Many grave sites are hidden by overgrown grass and weeds. In some cases, there's a layer of mud, so you can't even see the name on the tombstone.
It's hurting to see that one of your loved ones, and you spend your money to put them somewhere. You would think it would be in a better upkeep than next.
That man right there says he called management 2 weeks ago and he was told that Finality LLC was bankrupt but still working to clean things up. We did not get an answer when we called the company.
Right now, Memphis police looking on an officer. Antonio Tibbs faces aggravated assault charges. The car he was in was pulled over last week. He jumped out and started running. An officer confronted him. He pointed a gun at the officer, then ran away again. And police near Nashville, Tennessee, working to find out who shot whom in a triple homicide-suicide. 4 people were found dead yesterday at a home in Rutherford County. It is believed the victims were not related. Police say one person shot and killed the other 3 people before committing suicide.
Today, students in Santa Fe, Texas returned to class for the first time since 10 people were killed in a mass shooting. 8 students and 2 teachers died. 13 others were injured May 18th. Extra security and counselors will be on hand. Teachers and staff returned last Wednesday. The alleged gunman, a 17-year-old, was arrested and charged with capital murder.
Also today, President Trump hosts a Make America Great Again rally in Nashville. It includes a performance by country music singer Trace Adkins. Prior to the rally, the president will be attending a private campaign fundraiser for U.S. Senate candidate Marsha Blackburn.
Take a look at this, a wild view of the volcanic eruptions in Hawaii from space. Wow. Yesterday, the volcano has displaced hundreds of people and businesses on Hawaii's Big Island. Thousands of people have evacuated.
For today.
It's official. The Diamond Hogs are the 5th seed in the NCAA tournament. They host the Fayetteville Regional this weekend up there at Baum Stadium. The Hogs' first top 8 seed since 2007. Tickets are already on sale, Pat.
All right, so here's the bracket here. Hogs, the #1 seed, will play the 4 seed ORU out of Tulsa. Dallas Baptist University and Southern Miss are the 2s and 3s. Southern Miss is the 2. They'll play first. So they play 7 o'clock. We play 2 o'clock. We play the winner of that game, the losers.
Yeah. Well, you talked about 2 o'clock. For us to be seated where we are, a lot of people are kind of having a hard time having that early start time because they obviously want to go out there and watch the game on Friday.
On Friday night.
But actually, I feel like Coach Dave Van Horn feels like it's in their favor. I think we got Coach right here talking about the early game.
I like playing the early game. I think it gives you a chance to battle weather if there's any weather issues. It gives you a little bit of an opportunity to recover a little bit longer, win or lose. And you know, there's a few other advantages, but you know, you don't have to sit around all day. You just go out there and play.
Pat, you heard it. Key word, recovery. Recovery time. Some of those late games, you have to have a quick turnaround and expect to play a long, grueling game once again. So,
or a late game that's so late, then they say, let's go play tomorrow morning instead.
Yeah.
Like happened in Hoover.
Yeah. I like the 2 p.m. So Razorbacks are set to start this tournament. For the Razorbacks, I remember in 2007, that would have been my freshman year in college. I think they had a pretty good run at it in baseball, especially not too long after that, my senior year as well. So ready for them to become the Omaha once again.
I hope they make it to Omaha. I hope they get out of the our region because I've heard it said that we may have, we think of these schools like Southern Miss, ORU, Dallas Baptist. You think, what?
Yep.
I've heard that we have maybe the toughest region.
Yeah, we got our producer in the back, you know, is a real big baseball fan, and he says keep an eye on Southern Miss. They're 43-16 overall, only lost 5 games on the road all year. Now that's impressive. They have a pitcher, number 5, who started 14 games and won 9. He only gives up 1 run a game. So I'm interested to see how this goes. They got guys that can swing the bat as well. So that'll be the sleeper team we need to keep an eye on.
So we're pulling for Dallas Baptist in that first game.
Let's go Dallas Baptist.
We work to be a different kind of company. A company that believes in using our scale for good. A company that believes that the pursuit of profit is not in conflict with doing social good.
Starbucks across the country closing today for an anti-bias training.
And now this all started when employees called police on 2 black men who were sitting inside of a store in Philadelphia. The 2 men were arrested while waiting on a friend. The charges later dropped. The Starbucks CEO apologized in a face-to-face meeting. Training is just one of several steps that the company is taking to restore its image.
The training will involve more than 175,000 employees. The company hopes it starts a discussion on biases and stereotypes. So here in Central Arkansas, closing times vary. To find out what time the Starbucks near you will close, go to our Facebook page. We've posted a link there to let you know.
The IHOP in Hot Springs doing similar training after a mother says the manager discriminated against her 3-year-old son. William Ragsdale was born without arms and he eats with his feet while sitting on a table. His mother says the manager told her that he couldn't sit on the table or touch the syrup containers because it was a health department issue.
When I got here, I carried him in, I took him to the bathroom, washed his feet so he could eat. And I asked her, I'm like, do you ask all your customers if they wash their hands before they touch them?
The manager has apologized several times, and we're told the manager is on leave.
6:48 is your time. Happening today, the Arkansas Poor People's Campaign will protest for the 3rd time in just a few weeks. Today's protests focus on the war economy, militarism, and gun violence. The group is calling for demilitarization of our communities, a public Veterans Administration system, and an end to increased military spending. This begins at 2 o'clock at the state capitol. A man with Arkansas ties killed while on the job in South Carolina. Mike McCormick was a reporter and anchor in Fayetteville. He and a photojournalist were covering a storm in North Carolina when a tree fell on their car.
It personally affected me a little bit because I had done an interview with Mr. McCormick about 10 minutes before we got the call. And we had talked a little bit about how he wanted us to stay safe and how we wanted him to stay safe. And then, of course, 10, 15 minutes later, we get the call, and it was him and his photographer.
Mike McCormick joined WYFF in 2007, and of course the KERK newsroom sends our thoughts and prayers to our colleagues in South Carolina.
The city of Little Rock, one of 14 cities to attend a National Hunger Leadership Academy. The city selected because of the commitment to reduce hunger for families. Securing summer and after-school meal programs for the Little Rock kids has always been a priority. The city is now eligible for a grant of up to $150,000 in assistance. Later this week, we could learn more about the Riverfest turnout.
The organizers are very pleased with the event over the weekend. Due to recent mass shootings, security was increased. There were no safety issues. Plans for Riverfest 2019 already being made.
Looking ahead to next week, the Central Arkansas Library System begins Terror Tuesday. That's June 5th. Scary movies will be shown every Tuesday of the month at Ron Robinson Theater. Tickets, $2. Each showtime is at 6 o'clock through July. The first movie will be shown is Metropolis from 1927. Other movies include Night of the Living Dead, Little Shop of Horrors, and Dead Men Walk. Global Running Day, June 6th. Little Rock Parks and Rec is hosting a free event starting at 6 a.m. at Murray Park. The run will not be timed, and you can run any distance you want. Water and giveaways will be available. It's free, but you do have to register. Find the link to register on our Facebook page right now. DJ, I guess you're going to be there live running. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I'll be there.
No time, no length,
just whatever you want.
run.
Come as you are.